Hi there, this is the fourth video in the series for Access 2007, 2010, and in this video I'm going to continue doing what we did in the first three videos, which was to create tables, forms, queries, and reports, but I'm going to add an extra element and introduce the notion of relational database. So in this example, I'm going to create two different tables. So just to show you what it is, I'll just show you this document I created. So I'm going to have two tables. One table will have these fields, which will be like a list of book and DVDs that I have. So it has the list ID, which will be like the primary key, the title, whether this is a book or a DVD, what genre it is this suspense, drama, romantic, comedy, and synopsis is like you just want to make notes about what the book or DVD is about. I'll have another table which will be a list of people who borrowed my books or DVD, so I can keep track of who's got what. So I'll start with the borrowed ID, then there will be a field called title. Now this title will be connected to this title because I've already typed it once, so I don't want to type it again. So this way we'll be creating a relationship between both of them. Then we have first name, last name, telephone number, the date it was borrowed, and then whether it was returned or not. So let's start. So from Access, this I'm just going to call it book DVD list. I'm just going to click on the folder button here so I can save it in Access folder, and in the book DVD list I'm going to save it, and I just have to click create. So right away it brings me to the table in the datasheet view. So I'm just going to go to the design view. It's going to ask me to save it. This one I'm going to call my book DVD list. So the first field I'm just going to call it list ID. You can call it whatever you want. I'll leave it as auto number. Remember, data type defines what information you can enter in the field. So by choosing auto number, I'm allowing Access to do this for me. I don't have control over creating my list ID. So it automatically do 1, 2, 3, 4. If you wanted the control in your hands, you could choose number, or you could choose text if you wanted to put a combination of words and numbers. And that's already is set as a primary key. It's already there. After that, I'm going to have a field called title. So this will be the title of the book or the DVD. Type, because I want to have, like, I just want to say whether it says DVD or is it a book. And if I want, I can create a lookup, which is like a drop down list. So I can click here, choose look up wizard, choose I will type the values I want, click next, and in the column here I'll type my list. You can type as many things you want, and just hit finish. I can hit save. After the type, I'll have a field called genre, and I'll create a lookup even for the genre. I will type the values. I'll be going a little fast in this because I've covered a lot of the materials in the previous videos. If you want, you can go back and look at it. So I can have horror, sci-fi, kids. Oh, I hit enter by mistake. Go back. Action, romantic, or whatever else you can come up with. Hit next and then finish. So this is good enough, just a small little list. Now I can hit save. Now if I want to type, I have to go to the datasheet view. So I'm going to click here. Now up here I can start typing. So say the title I'm going to make up. I'm just going to call it Matrix 1. I'm going to make stuff up like that. And this is a DVD. And I can call it sci-fi or action or whatever. Oh, I forgot the synopsis. So I can go back to the design view, put a field called synopsis. And because I need to type as much as I want, I have to choose the data type memo. so that I can talk as much as I want. So there is some field. Now I'm just going to close this table. Now instead of entering it in the table, I'm going to do it in the form. So I'm going to go to create, use the form wizard, add all the fields that I want, click next. That is fine, the defaults. Next, that is the name. I'll just put the word form next to it, hit finish. And now if I want, I can click this button here on the bottom for new records. Or if I just come here and hit tab, it will go to the next. I'm just going to keep typing now. Okay. I'm going to pause the video and I'll just type as many as I can so I can show it to you. So I finished typing some records in the form. I'm just going to close the form and I'm going to double click on the book DVD list table, and there it is. So I've just typed out some names with some books and some DVDs and some genres and things like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and create my second table, which will be like the borrowed list. So I'm going to go to create table, go to design view, give it a name, borrowed list, click OK. Now the first one, I'll just going to call it borrowed ID. Auto number is fine. The second field is title. Now this title, I want to link it to the title on the book DVD list. So I'm going to start the lookup wizard. Now if you look at the first option, it says I want the lookup field to get the values from another table, because I want to connect it to another table. So I'm going to click next. Now that field is in the book DVD list. It is already highlighted. Click next. Now I want to connect it to this list ID and also the title, because I may not recognize the name of the book from just the ID. I need the title, so I take both of them. Click next. Click next. And you see it's going to hide the key column, which is the list ID. So I just see the title. Next. And I finish. Asking me to save, I say yes. Okay. The next field will be per first name. If you just try to type name, it will not allow you to use just the field name as name, because somewhere Access is using this in its programming. You cannot even use the field name year because Access is using it. Telephone number. Remember, the telephone data type is text because I want to set the input mask, and I start the lookup, the input mask wizard, and I choose phone number. Click finish. Hit save. Date borrowed. The data type will be date and time. I can set the format, like I want to see the dates in this way. And the input mask, I want to enter in this way too. So you can choose, you can enter it in the short date or this way. It's up to you. Finish. Same thing for date returned. Choose date and time. I'm going to be consistent. Okay. Hit save. I'm going to go to the datasheet view just to see. Now when I click in the title, I get the drop down list, and here's the list I had typed in the previous table. So now I can just pick here and then start typing. Okay. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to create a form and enter all this information. Just quite some of the records, so I have some information. So I'm just going to show you how to create the form again. So from create form wizard, I choose borrowed list because that's the form I want to create. I add all the fields. I can remove the borrowed ID if I didn't need it because I'm not going to be able to type anything in there anyways. I can click next, next, borrowed list form, click finish. Now I can continue entering information here. So I went ahead and entered quite a few records, like almost 12 of them in my form, and I'm going to close the form and I'm going to double click on the borrowed list table, and there is the list I've created. I've left some of the date returned empty so I can show you what will happen when you do certain things in the query. So I'm just going to close this table and I'm going to look at some queries now. So I go to create query wizard, simple query, click OK. And I want to use the borrowed list for the query. I can add all the fields. If I don't need the borrowed ID, I can remove it. I click next, click next, and that's fine. I can change the name later up here, and I can hit modify so that I can modify the query before I see the results. Now if you remember from the previous video, I showed you things about criteria and things like that. So say if I want to do a query where I just see some area code starting with 905, I can type the word like 905 and then the asterisk, and if I hit the run, I only get the results matching 905 area code. The 905 and the asterisk means match the first three, after that I don't care. It's like a wild card. So I can go back to the design view. I'm going to remove that, and what I want to do is in the date returned, I'm just going to type the word is null. Null means empty, so that I get the results of people who haven't returned the book or the DVD, and I click run. Now these are the books or the DVDs that have not been returned. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to close this query. Now there's the query. I'm going to right click on it, rename, and I'm going to call it query not returned, so that every time I run it, I'll get the people who haven't returned the book or the DVD. Now I'm going to double click on the book DVD list table, and if you see there is a plus sign next to each and every one of them, that is because of the relationship. So you see when I click on the plus sign, it shows me who's borrowed the book or the DVD and whether it's returned or not. So each and every file has that, and this is because of the relationship we created, and this is what is known as the relational database. Just going to click close here, and I'm going to go to the database tools here, and I'm going to look for the relationship button. So in the database tools, there is the relationship button. When I click on it, and it shows me I've got two different tables, and there's my relationships align. If I wanted to remove it, I could just click on it, right click on it and hit delete if I wanted to get rid of the relationship. So this shows me picture in a picture how my tables are set up. Say yes. Now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a report based on this information that I have. So I'm going to use the report wizard. Now say if I just wanted to create a list of all the book and DVDs I have, then I can just use this table. I add all the fields. If I don't need the synopsis, I can remove it. Click next, next, next. Portrait is fine in this case because I don't have too much information. And I just add the word complete next to it because it's a complete report. Click finish, and this is my report right here. And if you remember from the previous videos, You can edit the layout. So I'm just going to close this. I'm going to go to the view option, layout view, click here on the title, and also on the bottom hold the shift key, click on the bottom part and reduce just a little bit so that I can get away from this information. Now it looks a little better. I can look at the print preview and there's my information. I can close it and I can close this. Say yes to saving it. Same way I can go back to create, report wizard, and if I wanted I could create the borrowed list, which is the list of all the people that have borrowed my books or DVDs. Now if I did not want to, I could just run the query not returned, add all the fields. If I don't want something, I can get rid of it. Click next, next, next. I can make it portrait if I wanted. Click next. And if I wanted, I could put the word report not returned. Hit finish. Now I only get the names of the people who haven't returned the material. And you see right now it's like everything is jumbled up, so I'll have to go to my close this print preview, go to the layout view, and I can start making some room here. If I don't need the last name, I can just delete it, click the telephone number, and I can just move it so that I can make room for the other information. And there is my borrowed date. I can expand it, and this is the returned information, which is empty. So now this looks a little better. I can spread them up a little bit more if I want it. Look at the report view, print preview, so looks a little better. So you can print that report and you can call up the people who have returned your material. Say yes. Now in the way of creating, even with the forms or the report, you can mix fields from both the tables. So I can go to report wizard. Now if I want it from the borrowed list, I can add all the fields and say I remove the ID, the last name. Now if I want it from the book DVD list, I could add the field type. So now you see I've got one field from one table and the other fields are from the second table. So I can click next, and as you can have as many fields you want. Next, 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 next. I can make it landscape. Next, and finish. So now you see it also gives me the type, which is DVD or book, that column from the first table. So, and now I can go back and close the print preview and go to my layout and just make the adjustment as I want it. So this is Access pretty much in a nutshell. Hope it helped you get going, and if you wanted to learn something more, you can go grab a book from the library or buy it, and you can find more information. This information is good enough to just get you going and maybe pass a test um, when something comes up, but there is a whole lot to access and it will be difficult to learn something in this way. But you got a foundation now and you can go and learn more things. So just one more thing up here. If I am in the layout view, the borrowed list, that's the title. I can change it to whatever I want. I can move it to the center. I can format it to different colors and whatever else I wanted to do with it. So you have control over that.